Lilac Kitty has all types of Reddit stories that will make you think, cry and laugh. Only real stories.
My husband cheated and blames it on my infertility. Some people told me to repost my story here, so here I am. Hey, so. I don't even know how I can start all this. I never talked about this with anyone besides my family, but I feel like I have to take this out of my chest. Obviously this is a Thronoi account. Normally I just use this site for more pleasant reasons, but today I need to talk about it with someone. Okay, to start, me, 36F, and my husband, who I'll call Joe, 39M, are married for 23 years, my first boyfriend, my first everything, almost 17 together, 6 actually married. Our story together is pretty long. We know each other for basically our whole life, almost next door neighbors. Our mothers were relatively good friends. We did go to the same school at one point. We shared some friends in common, but we weren't best friends or something. We were just normal acquaintances, but things started to change when I was 16. I became friends with his younger sister and started hang out more in their place. Long story short, we started dating. It was, to say the least, a rough start. I was a high schooler and he was in his first year on MIT, but somehow we made it work. When I was 18, I got pregnant with our only daughter, Emma, now 15F. Even though she wasn't exactly what I wanted at the time, but Emma is and will always be the best thing that ever happened to me. The pregnancy was hard on me. She was a premature newborn, and I almost didn't make it. After birth, the doctor recommended us to stop having kids. Infertility is something almost expected in the women of my family. My younger sister had to do IVF to have her baby girl. My oldest took 10 years to finally get pregnant with her boy, and to make things better, my menstrual cycle was basically a mess. Years later, I started my own small business. He worked as engineer and everything was going great again. Until Joe's little sister, Kayla, had her own baby girl, Suzanne Elizabeth, surname, I'll put her real name here soon, I'll see later why, who we call regularly Susie. After Susie was born, it seems like some crazy parental instinct kicked in on Joe. Don't get me wrong, even with all his problems, Joe was always a good father, but for some reason he clicked more with Susie than he did with his own daughter. Everywhere that we did go with her, this was years ago, when both girls are still little, and someone says, "Oh, how it's being for you two being parents of 2 little girls." I get crazy just with one, and he would always say, "Oh, we are doing great," and this always let me awkward. Kayla is Joe's younger sister and they two were always close, almost like gum with each other. Kayla got pregnant when she was 13, she was dumped by Susie's dad and this made Joe furious. He treated to go after the boy with a riffle if he didn't marry Kayla or didn't man up and take care of his kid. This didn't do a thing. The deadbeat moved out of the state and now, for what I know, it's at least paying child support, but as I said, he was too overprotective over his sister. One thing that always bothered me was that he always treated Susie better than he ever did to Emma, always gave her better presents, always paid for her birthdays, clothes. One thing that stick with me permanently was the fact when Susie was 6 and Emma was 8, he gave the Emma's princess dress to Susie. He bought that dress to Emma for a costume party, but in last minute decided to give our daughter dress to his niece because of her birthday and how he said Susie needed more, rent one would be too hard for Kay right now. I'll buy Emma another one. I don't want to be bitter or anything, but the girl still had a father and a mother. Why she didn't ask for the bio dad buy some costume? I don't know why, but this stayed with me. He always prioritized her instead of Emma. Oh, Susie needs this. Oh, I need to buy Susie a new sneakers. Susie got AA on this and Emma got AD. I don't know what to do. Susie got another medal on school. Susie is the best student of the class this year. It was always Susie on his mouth, never Emma. 6 years ago we decided to finally officially tie up the knot. It was a simple occasion, just family. We didn't had a honeymoon, but it was alright for me, we are parents and too old for that crap, I thought. After the wedding, he comes to me and said that he wants to adopt. He says that a coworker of his got pregnant and wants to put it up for adoption after birth. I said that I agreed. We couldn't have more bio kids and Emma was going to be in college in some years. I thought that one more kid would let the house more alive. We are having problems. he slept in work. Later I would know it was bullshit. And some nights didn't even go home, so I thought I knew child maybe was the key. After some weeks, I discovered that the kid wasn't just of a coworker, it was his. His mom opened the game after he had a conversation with her about what he should do. She said to him to be honest, but he didn't, so he did it in his place. We split. Some weeks later, he comes begging for forgiveness that he loves and it was a mistake. I forgive him. I hate myself. I do, but I love him and I feel like I always will. We get back together. His mistress gave us the baby. He names it Suzanne Elizabeth. Surname, he calls it Susie. He practically ignores our daughter even more over his untouchable niece and new baby. Every time I have an argument over this, he says he only cheated on me because he wanted a kid and I couldn't give him other one. Sometimes I think it's my fault this happened. The girl calls me mama, so I just played along. I don't think I can divorce him. I love him. Sometimes I feel like I love him more than I love anything in this world. What should I do? I want to attend a counseling to try make things better. I'm sorry about all this, I just think that I needed to talk about this with someone. Sorry any mistake, I'm just too nervous. My sisters say to forgive and forget, but it's being hard. I'm sorry. Update. Hey, it's me again. I don't know how to update very well since I'm not a frequent poster in this website, but I will try my best. First of all, I want to thank every single person who offered me advice for my situation. It took me long to update, but here I am. Thanks for everything. Everyone here told things that not even the closest of my friends ever did, so thank you so much for opening my eyes. Okay, so to make things clearer, because many of you questioned me in my chat and in the comments about some things, so we started dating when I was 13 and he was 16. It was not exactly a fixated relationship or anything serious, we're just what most people now call love mates. Is this the correct term? I'm not very sure. I admit that the age gap looking back was worrying at best, but in the time I was just a stupid teenager girl blinded for what they call true love. Now I call this bullshit. I was dumb and in love, though I start to reflexing more after some of you introduced me of the idea of grooming. I'm not sure if that it was that he did to me, and honestly I feel like I'll never know. The only thing that I'm sure it's that he made me feel like I was obligated to lean down for his needs for all of this almost 23 years relationship, and that broke in so many ways that until now, I feel like I'll never fully recover. And for the people on DMS saying that I was bad-mouthing my niece who is still a child, I never did that. I just pointed out the difference between treatments between she and Emma. Do you think I am low enough to blame it on a kid? Seriously? And about Kayla and Joe relationship. Why the hell some of you think that Susie's is their incest child? Sure, physically the girl is almost a copy of Joe, but they are literally related? I was never Kayla's biggest fan, and Joe, even being the rat that he is, I fully believe that he almost straight out obsession with his niece, it's just an extension of his creepy ass overprotective relationship with his sister. I'm sorry if I'm being too harsh on this response, it's that this last one accusation had me nauseous. Now, with this out of the way. First thing I want to clarify, yes. Me and Joe are over. Truly over, and this time I will not look back. But how we got there is a long story. I kept my mouth shut for all those 2 months after my original post. I kept doing the best that I could to save sinking ship. I know most of you think that I was being pathetic over this. And I know I was, but being that stuck in something. It's difficult to explain. It was like I was trapped under sea. I wanted to freedom, I wanted to swim over the beach, to the sunshine, to the air. But I couldn't. Because the love that I felt for Joe and the comfort in that prison was too much for me really escape. I know it's no sense, I don't think any of you can't understand that, but every time he told me something, I believe it. If told me the sky was red, I would agree. And if told me that it was all my fault about our failing marriage, well, you know this ends. I've been raising Susie as my own since she was born. Most of you can think that I resent her in some level, but I don't. I love her, I guess. I'm not sure what I should feel about her. She is not mine, she was never mine. But after she called me mommy and smiled after for the first I felt like I did when Emma was just a baby over again. One part of me says that I just kept pushing this train wreck because of her. It's hard to resume everything, but here we go. Everything started when Susie and Emma went to his mother's home to a girls' night, with Susie, niece, and Kayla, both of them live my mother-in-law, in the last Saturday, which I agreed because I was so damn tired because of how everything was going not only in home but in work. Since the global event, my small business, I'm a dressmaker, has going badly. Most of my money came from proms and quinceañeras, but since none of them are happening with frequency right now, my sales were going badly. I needed a time to rest, I feel bad to admit, but I was tired of having both the girls and the money issue in my head all the weekend, so I thought that one night off would help me relax. And everything was great. Joe and I watched movies, Iron Man, his favorite, he slept on the couch on my side. And for one moment I felt like we're teens all over again. In love and in peace. Until we weren't. I felt a buzz under me and I noticed how it was probably a cell phone. His cell phone. I didn't resist, I confess. So quietly as possible, I checked who it was. The contact was saved as Oliver, work, but the photo was of a woman, and I knew who that one was. It was Jacqueline, his ex-AP, the bio mom of Susie. The messages read, "She looks so much like you when she is sleepin', babes, see no evil, monkey face blowing a kiss." For a damn moment I saw black. The next thing I knew it's that I shoved Joe off the couch and started screaming at him. He promised me that he would never talk to her again. He promised me it was over from the moment I legally adopted my daughter. But it was not. At first he was confused, I guess thanks to the fall. Then when he realized what I was talking about, his face went pale. Then he started saying, "Are you crazy?" "Of course not." I said, "We're over. Me and her don't even work together anymore." "You are insane." Then I showed him the test, it was on his front screen, then he told me, "I don't see nothing." Then he took the phone out of my hands and opened the WhatsApp in front of me just to delete the texts. In front of me, he had the audacity of showing the phone again and saying, "See. There is nothing." In this moment, I went numb. What he thought I was? A kid? Or just pretty stupid to accept any bullshit he throws at me? My memory went fuzzy from there, but the only thing I knew is that I was out. I went to my car, grabbed some shit and out. I didn't care when I heard him calling me crazy. I didn't care when I heard him begging me to stay, and surely I didn't a crap when he said, "It was a mistake. I'm so sorry, Norma." I didn't give a fuck. He called 250 times, left it hundreds of voicemails, and probably even more texts. In the middle of the roadway, I threw my phone over the window of my car. I bought a new on Sunday. There he is texting it. It was irrational, I know, but I was done of hearing bullshit. I was so done. When I got into my older sister house, let's call her, and she told me that Joe was in panic, that he called everybody crying his eyes out, begging to someone to bring me back home because I was having one of my jealously episodes. And I laughed like a maniac after hearing that. I laughed even more when my sister and her husband begged me to go back home, to think of our family. I left it immediately after the family thing, after some struggle to get my sister let go of me. Then I went inside my car and cried my eyes out. Because I fighted so hard to fix things with him and he's still being the same shit that he ever was, and my family is on his side. One part of me was screaming to me to go back and try again, but then when I remembered that, babe, I just threw myself on the road again. The argument with Joe happened Saturday late night. I went to my sister's house in early Sunday. I dropped off on a friend's house the morning of Sunday. I didn't told her anything yet, and she isn't the biggest fan of Joe. So she doesn't know anything yet. I just told her that it was just a surprise visit, and that I needed some time to chill out, so she agreed without saying anything. I plan to tell her everything when my head stops killing me. I know that she is probably worried about me, but after my sister, I'm afraid of telling her something just to receive, "Go back home, he will change, you'll see." I'm tired as heck. I trying to find some stable place to stay after this wreck. I want to bring Emma and Susie with me. Fuck him, fuck my family, fuck my stupid decisions. I'm done crying so much. Sometimes I hate myself for putting everyone in this shit situation. I'm sorry for this, but thanks for listening. This really helps me to take things out of my chest. I need to know what to expect from now. I want my kids, I want my house, and I want him out of my life. What should I do now that I'm gone?